Hey, everybody, welcome to the MNM podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Seth.
It's me, Velicon.
And I am the B-Man.
Bumblebee Man from The Simpsons.
We're not. We don't have our boy Eric because his dumbass got drunk last night and fell into a fire.
Burned the fuck out of his
Burned the shit out of his hands, but he'll be back next week. Let's hope he feels better.
If you guys know him or have like his number or met or friends on Facebook, just send him some love.
Yeah.
Say, I hope your hand feels better, and I hope you can whack it soon.
I'm sure by the time this is uploaded, he should be alright.
Hopefully.
We hope, but today we are talking about animated, our favorite animated TV shows.
We're all excluding SpongeBob.
Yeah.
It's all going to show up on our list.
So, but here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to take like a minute and talk about the shows that we excluded and not talk about extensively because these are going to be extensive.
Yeah.
So the rule here was no Simpsons for me, no SpongeBob for any of us.
Yeah.
And
I didn't put Pokemon on mine.
I didn't count anime, but I was going to ask you your favorite anime off the top of your head for like a turbo topic, but and then there no Family Guy.
Yeah.
Because those would
I actually almost put that in my honorable mention, but I'm like, yeah, you know what? You know, it's a good show, but it's really only consistent with a couple seasons.
Up to season 10.
Yeah.
Up to season 10, it is one of my favorite shows.
The first 10 seasons are great.
And nowadays, it's like hit or miss, and more of the times it's
a miss.
Than it is a hit.
Well,
it's the miss.
You know, and I love Seth MacFarlane, and I mean, those first couple seasons will always have a special place in my heart.
Oh, yeah.
As a show
the
that
golden age is like the first 5 seasons.
It's something that we quote all the time. It's integral to all of us, but it's watch LS Mark's videos on it. I mean,
Seth, talk about The Simpsons.
Okay.
Wait. Actually, sorry, I did want to talk to you guys about the draft real quick.
Okay, we didn't either, but
what happened?
All I know is the two things I wanted to take out of it, since it's a 2-night event, started on Friday, gonna finish on Monday. But the things I took away from it is Carmelo Hayes got drafted to SmackDown,
cool,
and Braun Breaker got drafted to Raw.
Okay.
I thought he was signed for SmackDown.
I guess he got drafted. I don't know.
Now,
Carmelo Hayes and Cody Rhodes had a match last night on SmackDown that went like 20 minutes. Apparently, it was a banger.
Damn.
Huh.
I'll have to check out highlights.
But yeah, the draft, I'm excited to see. Hopefully, Strowman's able to come back. He's been out a year on injury.
Anybody else come up from NXT?
Not yet. Most of the draft picks is Monday.
We'll probably get more on Monday.
For the draft picks, do you guys have any fun memories of one? Probably not. I don't know.
The 2008 one, I remember I was so excited because it used to do the thing where it would flash through different people and stop.
Yeah. I liked that.
The draft was such a big deal back in the day.
Yeah, in that Undertaker moment where he gets drafted and he just slams the thing and then gets up and leaves.
And then Cena got drafted to SmackDown and then back to Raw in one night.
One night. Yep.
But yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty much a slow week for news, really. New Smiling Friends in 2 weeks.
I didn't watch it, but I saw clips of it. Obviously, Jack Perry's back in AEW.
Unfortunately.
They did a whole angle with him of him dropping Tony Khan on his head.
Yeah. I also wanted to say real quick on the topic of Khan.
I don't fucking get it.
On the topic of Khan, what he said yesterday, did you guys see that?
Mm-mm.
He called WWE an evil corporation.
He said they're the Harvey Weinstein.
They're Harvey Weinstein. And he also said that they're the Pepsi of pro wrestling. And here's my response. Go fuck yourself. Because that is one of the most unprofessional things you could do.
Oh, I'm saying it to be edgy.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing.
Look, I'm fine with Perry coming back and doing this angle because now he's like part of the elite with Okada and the Bucks. Yeah. I like that the Bucks changed the name to the Tony Khan driver instead of the Melcher driver. They changed the name.
Yeah.
And Tony Khan, I will say, Tony Khan's a dipshit most of the time, but he sold the fuck out of the Khan driver. And then for the NFL draft the next night, he wore a neck brace to keep kayfabe.
He showed up with a neck brace.
Yeah. So I'll give him respect for that. As much as idiot decision, I love people keeping kayfabe.
Well, somebody said it's like Andy Kaufman level kayfabe with the neck brace on, and
but just he needs to learn to shut his fucking mouth sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the Harvey Weinstein, that's the thing about the Harvey Weinstein thing that pisses me off is that so many people got hurt by that. Within like
little side note, did you see what happened?
What with
the fucking case got overturned in New York?
What case?
The Harvey Weinstein case.
Really?
It got overturned in New York.
I thought he was already in jail.
No, the case got overturned in New York.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
I swore he was in jail.
Let me pull up a little thing about it.
That is insane.
I know. I saw that. I'm like,
Well, I mean, you've got the most powerful. I mean, it's related to nerd stuff, so I mean.
Yeah, it was overturned Thursday by the New York Court of Appeals.
So he got off.
Let me see here.
Huh. That's insane. But I mean, what I'm saying is that you're taking it that's too far.
Yeah.
Because there are people that got involved. You're not making a joke out of it. Like, you're insulting somebody's experience by comparing the fact that you don't like somebody that's in the same business as you about a rapist that hurt people and destroyed lives, man.
Tony Khan can't keep talking his shit when every single time WWE does something, they're selling out gates. They're having the biggest performance they've ever had. They've got The Rock.
So he's, not to interrupt, but he has been serving a 23-year prison sentence.
That's what I thought.
But then he's out now.
Where do things stand now?
That's insane.
But yeah.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, like when I saw that, I'm like, ooh boy, a lot of people are going to be upset about this.
I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But
look, Khan is talking his shit when AEW struggles to get 700,000 weekly people.
Yeah.
And WWE just signed a deal with Netflix. Literally.
$5 billion.
And they're in a partnership with TKO.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, so...
Fucking Prime was their sponsor at WrestleMania.
Yeah, so that's...
I'm going to continue watching AEW just because I just love wrestling.
Oh, look, that's what it is. I love pro wrestling. I mean, the thing here is Billy Corgan doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
And NWA's terrible. I watched 2 episodes of their show on YouTube, and I'm like, this is garbage.
But again, I don't
it's
want...
not good.
Yeah.
I don't want these...
Well, they made fucking Brodus Clay their champ for however long.
Stick with music, Corgan. You're better at that.
Yeah, there you go.
But WWE is great with their wrestling and their storytelling. Tony Khan has some great wrestlers, but he books his cards like he's randomizing a 2K24.
He's
like
playing
a universe mode.
And like my other thing is one of my problems. 2 of my problems with AEW. My main problem is their storylines. Their storylines are fucking garbage.
Mm-hmm.
There's only like once in a blue moon you'll get a really good storyline. Like the last good storyline, I guess you could say, was Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page.
Yeah,
that was a fun storyline that played out.
And it's only once in a while though, because before that it's MJF, but MJF's been gone for a while now.
And like my other problem is their matches that they have are good, but I feel like every match every week, whether it's the opening match or the closing match or the mid card match, I feel like Tony Khan tries to make these matches main event level.
Yes,
like,
every match.
Like some of the women's matches or like some of the opening matches where you have like, this person against this person and they're like the mid card talent. They try to, and I give the wrestlers all the credit in the world for trying to go out there and put on a great match, but don't make every single match a fucking 5-star match. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
I'm fine with watching a match that lasts about like 8 minutes, and it's not a fucking banger.
It's storytelling. You gotta
Storytelling.
build to something. You can't have something every week.
You can't have portals at the end every fucking MCU.
Yeah, like an end game. Yeah.
You can't make every match like it's the fucking main event for Double or Nothing.
Plus, the thing that don't make sense is they just had John Moxley versus Powerhouse Hobbs for the New Japan
what the
Championship.
fuck? Like, what the
Hobbs
fuck?
has never wrestled in Japan.
Yeah.
Hobbs has never been to Japan. Why would you give him
There's
a
no
possibility
story,
of winning
there's
a title?
no story behind it. It makes no fucking sense. I'm sure it was a fine match. I didn't watch it, but I'm sure it was a fine match because they're both talented guys. You know, they're both hard hitters. But, like, put some fucking story behind this.
So, here's the big thing. You were older when you got into wrestling.
Yeah. I only got into wrestling about, like, 10 or 12 years ago.
You and I grew up with it.
Mm-hmm.
We were still playing with action. I mean, we all played. We played with action figures.
We flushed his head down the
I mean,
toilet.
but still. Yeah. But, I mean, when you're a little kid, you know, I had a little Ash Ketchum figure. I would pretend that was me and my wrestling federation.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have, like, crazy matches with my figures. And it would be the biggest thing. That's what he does.
Yep.
Exactly.
He's emptying the toy box.
Yep.
I used to have a milk crate.
And see what he can have.
Yeah, I used to have a milk crate. And I would dump the milk crate out.
I understand, like, the reasoning behind it, but, like, just AEW's got to do something with their story.
He said something, too, that he said he was, like, the biggest sports startup. And pardon me, I don't speak sports, but sorry, Lindy. I love you, Lindy. He said we're the biggest sports startup in this history thing and historic thing. Well, yeah, you fucking idiot. You put the most money into your fucking startup.
Yeah.
You have a silver spoon. You just shut the fuck up. Like I that's my big thing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be one of those fuck AEW guys because I said it last week. I'm gonna say it till the end of time. We have watched people fucking perform in a fucking flea market.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you went to a fucking thing outside. We went
to a goddamn show in New Jersey that was like in a tiny warehouse where the ring was like right here.
Yeah.
Cosplay pro wrestling at convention.
Oh yeah, for you talking about CZW that time we went, that was awesome.
Yeah.
We sat right up on the front row and everything.
We go to the State Theater.
Yeah.
For that.
Holds like 100 people at max.
At max.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that, you know what the difference is there? It's believable fucking storytelling.
Yeah.
I have seen more believable storytelling
in the State Theater.
in fucking cosplay pro wrestling when they have some fucking random dude dressed as Spider-Man wrestling fucking Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Okay?
And then the last thing, did you watch any of Dynasty?
Yes, I did watch Dynasty. Dynasty was a very good pay-per-view. I'll give it
Ospreay
that.
and Danielson, holy
Yep.
shit.
I think my two favorite matches that night were that and O'Reilly and Strong.
That was a really good match.
Main event was really good. All the matches were pretty good.
Yeah.
Congratulations on Swerve Strickland winning the AEW
Very well
Championship.
deserved.
Our hometown hero.
We've been watching him for well over a decade.
Yeah.
In the smallest event, like I said, in the flea market. So
yes.
It's
shook
great
his
to see
hand.
one of our boys.
Got to watch him do an Iron Man match. And he killed it. We shook his hand after that. And now he's a fucking champion in AEW.
Big respect.
Mad respect.
And props to Joe for being a killer champ.
Yes.
Yeah, in a good match. You know. Again, good storytelling, far and few between.
Yes.
And that's the fucking problem.
I think my two, like I said, the two best matches on the card of that night were probably Danielson and Ospreay, and then O'Reilly and Strong.
Yeah.
I think the weakest match was probably, I would probably say, it's between the 6-man tag between Adam Copeland.
That was just randomly thrown together.
Adam Copeland and the House of Black, and then like I'd probably say like Julia Hart and Willow Nightingale.
Yeah.
It was fine. I think they should have gotten more time. They didn't have much time to run with, but yeah, overall it was a fun pay-per-view.
Yeah. Okay, so
I guess we'll hop
our
into
wrestling wrap up is wrapped
always.
up. For all you NASCAR fans, I'm going to the race tomorrow.
Oh,
with my
you're going to Dover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
My sister actually got us tickets because it's giving her boyfriend, me, and my dad.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
What time is that?
Race starts at 2. We'll probably get there. We might get there early.
You'll leave at like 10 or something, right?
I got it.
Probably.
I got to give you your CD. I got Brody a NASCAR.
Yeah, it's
CD at a yard
gonna be fun.
sale.
We have seats. We actually have seats right where me and my dad used to sit when we.
I was
going to
say
tickets.
you guys used to go when you were a kid.
Yeah, we have seats like right at the start finish line.
That's
so that's
cool.
gonna be fun.
That's
and then me and Brody are hitting M3 Fest next week.
Yeah, baby.
So we gotta talk about some 80s bands at some point.
And then I'll be seeing Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing the anniversary of Phantom Menace.
That sounds very us.
Yes, that's authentic.
Yeah, we're going to an all-day M3 rock festival where
Seth's watching Star Wars.
We're gonna
fucking Phantom Menace of all things.
Where we're gonna sweat, listen to 80s hair bands, and probably get felt upon by a lot of cougars.
I'm gonna put in the Family Guy joke where it's like, that's up to the fan to decide. He just goes, yay!
60-year-old
for the fan to decide.
Yay!
Women in leopard print and
saying
tight leather.
Very drunk, calling us very sexy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? There you go. There you go. But you know what? It's going to be a big deal for me because my brother and I were talking about going, and it'll make Phantom Menace, if I see it next weekend, it'll make Phantom Menace the movie I've seen in theaters the most.
Nice.
Why would you pick that?
I love that movie.
I'm aware.
I love that movie. But
hey, I'm cool. I saw it in a marathon, so I'm good.
Well, and I've already talked about that. Watch the Guilty Pleasure video if you haven't watched it already. It did surprisingly good, but I highly recommend it because it was a lot of fun to do.
Watch it.
But
like it, share, subscribe.
Car salesman there.
It was based on the guy that I met at RetroCon that used to do the Micro Machines commercials. Micro Machines are the fastest one. Yeah, that guy's cool.
All right, Seth.
All right.
Talk about Simpsons.
So. So,
hurry up.
This is a big deal for me. So yesterday we were at my mom's and I asked my mom just, what do you think your favorite animated TV show is? And my mom doesn't obviously watch cartoons like that. And her and Lindy like Bluey. They watch it with my niece.
They watch Bluey?
With
what is up with that?
I think it's just because it's refreshing.
Parents watch with their kids, and it's a decently good show.
They think it's
It's not just one of those shows
to
sell toys or like to keep the kids
I watched
distracted.
3 episodes, and I guess it's just not a thing for me.
Well, I mean,
you don't have a kid.
You can't really watch it by yourself.
Think about
it's one of those shows you watch with your kids.
Think about
your family members.
Right, you're with a kid. It's your kid, and they want to watch cartoons, and they're watching Thomas the Tank Engine and Caillou all day. You're gonna be like, fuck, and then Bluey comes along and it's remotely interesting, and you're gonna be like, okay, this is great.
But no, I'm saying it's not the kids and the parents that I'm worried about. It's those adults that are buying the Bluey toys that don't have kids and stuff. That's the thing.
I don't care about that.
You never know.
I don't.
It might be a collector's thing to where these toys might be worth something in a couple of years.
Nothing wrong with it. It's just something I don't get, I guess.
I would be the biggest fucking hypocrite in the world if I said that. But the thing with me that when I worked at the other Walmart, there was a autistic, I want to say like early 20s, would come in and she was like punk to shit, and that's why we would always talk, because she had a punk vest and we were always bullshitting about our vests. And she was like, yeah, I'm autistic, so like, I don't do too much. And she was like, but I push myself to come into the store and interact with people, count my money, come in here and buy Bluey stuff. And I was like, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Weirdo about
you're not being a weird. I'm sure, but everything.
You should have started screaming.
No. But I mean, whatever. So I talked to my mom, and my mom said, I said, besides The Simpsons, and my mom said, it's kind of hard for me to do because of The Simpsons is pretty much the only one I've ever seen. And
she didn't grow up with cartoons?
Yeah, but not really.
Not like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
My parents just, they're always watching TV, but it's, Lindy will talk about like the Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Oh yeah,
and
like the classic stuff.
And like Lancelot, Secret Agent Chimp, which was the show where they gave monkeys peanut butter and they were like secret agents and shit.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all, Jetsons or the Flintstones?
Flintstones.
Okay, yeah. Well, we all agree.
Eric's
the only one who likes Jetsons.
Yeah.
I don't mind the Jetsons, but I prefer the Flintstones.
Well, the Flintstones is where everything started. But The Simpsons, my mom's brought it up. She said, "Oh, probably Beavis and Butthead. I liked that. As a late teenager. Yeah,
didn't expect
that.
It
took me off guard. But
yeah.
My mom said, and I said, "Oh yeah, we used to watch The Simpsons as a family." And
That's
my mom
so
was
cool.
like, "Yeah," and I was like, "So we used to watch it as a family." And then when my dad left, we stopped watching it, but I would watch it by myself. And I grew attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just became this thing that I just became obsessed with. And I just kept watching every week. And I would laugh, and even if I was, having a rough week, I could laugh at The Simpsons. And specifically with Maggie Makes 3 in season 6.
Episode.
It's my favorite episode of television.
Objectively, that might be the best Simpsons episode.
And in that episode, I'll put the clip in here, but Homer basically has to quit his dream job to work at the nuclear power plant after he quit.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole episode is about why he doesn't have any pictures of Maggie.
Do it for her.
And at the end...
Thanks for giving me my old job back.
I'm afraid it's not that simple. As punishment for your desertion, it's company policy to give you the plague.
Sir, that's the plaque.
Ah, yes, the special demotivational plaque to break what's left of your spirit. Because, you see, you're here forever. Don't forget, you're here forever.
Oh.
So you left her right from the start.
Absolutely.
Then why no pictures?
Oh, there are pictures. I keep them where I need the most cheering up.
Into the episode, they put a plaque up that says
Don't forget you're here
"Don't
forever.
forget you're here forever," and Maggie, and then it cuts to where do you keep the pictures? You go, I keep them where I need the most cheering up, and it cuts to where there's pictures all over it, and it says "Do it for her."
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm getting hit in the feels just talking about it.
Yeah.
To me, that's the ultimate thing that a father could do. So to me, that is my favorite episode in television history. And I mean, I think you both know, as long as you've known me, that, like, it's insane how good I am with Simpsons stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
God.
fucking nuts.
If there's two things that Seth can do that I can't, his memory of every Simpsons episode,
And whipping Nene.
well, that too, and being able to name every single Royal Rumble win.
I've-
That still blows my fucking mind that you can do that.
I was pretty proud of that. And
Like, oh.
James, so I did it with Tyson, and then James was like, I hear that you can do this.
Yeah.
And Brody and Raymond are standing there, and I was like, you bet your ass I can. And I did it
Yep.
right there on the fucking
The
spot.
only one that matters is Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So.
Yes.
That's my mom's favorite wrestler. But The Simpsons is always going to have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
And it is, seasons 1 through 10 I really enjoy.
I've always said the best of The Simpsons is the first 10 seasons in the movie.
Yeah.
That's what I always said.
There are later episodes that I do enjoy.
I think the movie should have ended it.
Definitely.
I think the movie came out like 10 years too late, personally. But
Oh yeah.
I didn't think that for a long time, but I love the movie. I'm glad I'm glad it didn't, because I got to see it in the theater.
Yeah.
Opening day.
You'll never find the treasure of I'm a wiener.
I'm a wiener.
Classic.
Would you say that's your favorite episode of The Simpsons, Maggie Makes 3? Treehouse of Horror.
I don't know.
That's a
I don't
whole
know.
different...
I'm partial to season 4 just because that's how I got introduced to the show. I don't know. I would maybe Homer the Heretic. I love that episode.
Homer Badman is another one I really like. It's about cancel culture.
I also do love the Camp Krusty episode.
Camp Krusty.
One of my favorite moments though is from The Simpsons. Is like, hey, you want to see my new hockey mask chainsaw? Ah! That's like one of my favorite jokes.
I could quote all day. It is something that ingrained my sense of humor. It is something that has engraved my personality, as crazy as that is.
The Itchy and Scratchy movie episode 2.
That's a really good one. And, everybody says apparently I look like Homer Simpson. Everybody's been making jokes about that, and it's pretty funny. It's pretty... When I told Brett and Wes, I said we're Lenny, Carl, and Homer. And they thought Wes almost pissed his pants.
Yeah, that is... I could see that.
Yeah, so,
they are literally like Carl and Lenny at work. It's so funny.
Hey, Wes. Hey, what do you need, Brett? Love both of you guys. But yeah, that's my little Simpsons thing, because I'm not going to talk about it too much, because it would be... The thing with these lists is we try not to go too obvious, because the people who listen, they know us.
We try not to go too obvious, and we try not to, like...
beat shit into the ground.
We try not to have too many similar lists.
Right,
yeah.
we all want to talk about...
I think Seth and I are probably going to have some similar picks on this list, but, I mean, there's just certain stuff we cannot
all three of us
about.
will, because it's like...
There's certain shows you just cannot not mention, you know?
There's certain shows that you and I love that Vale doesn't. There's shows that Vale and I have watched a billion times.
Yeah.
You know...
There's a lot of stuff that you guys have that I don't, you know?
And speaking of which, before we transition to what I want to say next, we're not counting anime. Favorite anime of all time. Real quick.
Well, I mean, it's got to be Pokemon or Dragon.
Not counting the big ones.
Oh, okay.
Full Metal Alchemist.
I mean, Full Metal Alchemist, if you don't count My Hero, is one of the big ones.
My Hero Macadamia Nut.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
And Gurren Lagann was really
Gurren
good.
Lagan's good.
Gurren Lagann was really good.
What am I going to say?
You're going to say One Piece, yo. No.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop is my favorite anime.
Yeah, Eric's
going to
talk about Afro Samurai if he was here.
So, Brody, I want to ask you.
What's up?
And Vale and I could probably give answers to this, too. Why do you love SpongeBob so much?
SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants!
Well, it's one of the first, it's one of the first cartoon. Number one, it's one of the first cartoons that I grew up with. It's not one of those shows where, because everyone our generation grew up with, Scooby-Doo. But those were all reruns.
Yeah.
You know, those were all reruns
This
that
was
shows
fresh.
in the 50s and 60s. But SpongeBob was fresh.
Yeah.
SpongeBob, I remember when it came on. It's a comfort show for me. It's a show I always watch when I'm feeling sick, or I just don't feel good mentally or physically, or just when I'm sad about something or upset about something, I'll throw in some SpongeBob and my mood immediately changes. I think it's mainly because, number one, it makes me laugh.
It's still
laugh way more than any other show makes me laugh.
I was gonna say it's
timeless.
It's hilarious.
Some of the jokes are much funnier now than they were when we were younger. And I think I know it sounds cliche, but just SpongeBob's positive outlook on life.
Absolutely.
No matter what happens to him.
Yeah.
There's some episodes where he's upset, but he always ends up being happy.
I'm ready. No pressure.
How positive he deals with Squidward. Just because, what I think is so funny about that, Squidward does not like him.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
But SpongeBob doesn't see that.
No.
Yeah. And I think that's so cool, you know?
Yeah.
And like we said, some of the jokes, the fucking Krabby Patties.
It's just... There's so much humor, you look back into it, and it's
even some of the newer episodes are good. I personally like the newer episodes because of how fucking batshit crazy they are.
I said hi to you this morning, Patrick, right? As I do every morning.
Well, I need you to do it again.
That wasn't part of the deal, SquarePants.
Do it again.
That wasn't part of the deal, SquarePants.
Patrick, what are you talking about?
My hellos aren't just some tape recording that you can rewind and play over and over. They're special.
Patrick, this is an emergency.
It's so quotable.
Oh my
God. It is engraved.
The first 3 seasons, the first peak SpongeBob was the first 3 seasons and the movie.
And I know that's like beating a dead horse into the ground saying that, but
it's true.
It's true.
Season 4 is where they started getting weird but stuff, but still. You know.
But a core memory in my head is me and Brody watching the Fear of the Krabby Patty episode.
Yeah.
Let's start with a simple exercise. Jumping jacks!
Jumping jacks.
And he says, I think you need a professional wrestler.
Let's start with a simple exercise.
Jumping jacks?
One of the better moments in that episode is the E.T. reference they do.
Oh yeah, I'll be right here.
In my heart,
actually, your arteries. I think that it's engraved. It's one of those other shows that's engraved in all of us as quotes and memes, of course, have came out of it.
I mean, I saw the movie when it first came out.
I saw it twice.
I still remember sitting in that theater, my sister fucking bawling her eyes out at the scene where SpongeBob and Patrick die.
Yeah.
And I had the fucking special edition Nickelodeon magazine,
which I'm always looking
the cover,
for you. I always want to find that for you.
It's the if you guys remember, listeners, it's the cover where it's SpongeBob and Patrick like running away from an explosion with like the action movie look on their face. But yeah, that's the reason. It's just timeless. It's quotable.
I wanted to get your.
I think every single person that grew up in like the late 90s, early 2000s, or even the 2010s could tell you that they love SpongeBob.
Mickey Mouse. He's the new Mickey Mouse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And to this day, it's the only show on Nickelodeon from that time or the early 2000s that's still going.
I didn't think about the early 2000s.
And what's really funny is SpongeBob always manages to get an award at the Kids' Choice Awards.
Really?
For every single year that the Kids' Choice Awards has been around, SpongeBob always gets some kind of award.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Did you have any like special show that's not on the list that you wanted to?
No. I mean, I got a couple things that I'm gonna have to discuss.
Okay. So.
Jump into your shit, Seth?
Yeah.
I wouldn't jump into shit. That doesn't sound like fun.
Alright, well, Steve-O did it into a pool of elephant poop.
Yeah, he can have fun with that.
And he did that little, when he did that, like, pole jump.
Yeah.
And he ended up in that river with that dead animal that was in there. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That's bad.
That's bad.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. But while I pull up my list, somebody... at like 3 in the morning and was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" So I went online.
Last night?
No, the other day. I went online and I downloaded the video of from SpongeBob where it's like, "Hey Patrick, what you doing?" He's like, "Sleeping," and I sent that to him. Nice. But okay, so
we all know, SpongeBob. You and I both know that you're just using this as a distraction to not write your essay.
That is not true.
Seth.
What?
Fuck you, dude. Fuck you.
You're looking at the.
Oh,
what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, he can't show me the chewing face.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about this on the fucking thing yet. Don't worry, you explain.
Wait, what? The chewing face that you're always showing me? Whenever Zach sees me, he's like, "Tomar, check this thing, this cool thing out," and it's all. He might even have a description for it. He uses all kinds of lies and deception, but it's always the same thing. He'll hold up his phone, and it's that image of a chewing claymation face.
Oh yeah. The fucking creature comforts face.
Yeah, the creature comforts. Yeah, it's always that.
God damn it!
I remember that.
Everybody look up Brown chewing a gum.
No, I'm gonna put the
put it in there. Yeah.
I'm gonna put that, and then I'll put the Oni clip in. But there's because that'll explain it.
Yeah,
that'll explain why we do that.
I forgot about that video.
So I have honorable mentions, but I did want to say that I want to do an Adult Swim list later, especially with Eric.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost thought about swapping out all my Adult Swim choices here, but there were shows that I knew would come up that I don't know if they will now that I love with Eric, but I'll say them because I think they'll show up on your guys' list too, that I would definitely have in this list. Ren and Stimpy, Smiling Friends, Scooby-Doo, regular show.
Which Scooby-Doo would you pick though?
Where Are You was on there. It's not. I like Mr. Incorporated a lot.
That's probably my second favorite one.
We have a Scooby-Doo video. Watch that. It did really well, surprisingly too. Did really well. Beavis and Butthead, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Batman the Animated Series, and Futurama are all ones that would be on my list. But I figured they would be on other people's list. That there's one that's on my list that I know will be on yours.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about. But I had to put in there because of how much I had to.
Mm-hmm.
My honorable mentions are American Dad, Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like I said, I wanted to.
I almost put Aqua Teen on my honorable mentions because that's a show that I got into later.
I remember when we first met, you were like, I fucking hate that show. But I think an Adult Swim list will come, but that one just has to be on there. The 2003 Ninja Turtle series.
Yes.
I remember when that was on.
Oh my god.
I wasn't really into it, but I remember when it was on.
Batman the Animated Series Ninja Turtles. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I met you, you didn't like Turtles at all.
Show.
I'm still picky about my Ninja Turtle stuff. I really only like the first 2 movies, and then I still haven't seen Mutant Mayhem, but I've heard it's awesome.
It's really good.
It's really good.
I liked it.
I never watched the original show, but I've seen clips of it.
The original show is so good.
I've seen enough clips to really like it, but if I had to pick, it's definitely those first 2 movies.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I'm obsessed, but that's an understatement. But
that's a movie that really makes me want to eat pizza all
absolutely,
fucking time.
which I already do. My other one is Mission Hill. It's a very underrated show.
Yeah.
Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein from The Simpsons worked on it. It was like a side project. It was on. It ended up on Adult Swim.
What's it called?
Mission Hill. You can watch every episode on YouTube. I have it right here on DVD, right behind me, actually.
I don't recognize that at all.
Yeah, most people don't. It's weird. It's about of my honorable mentions. This is the one I really want to talk about. It's about this guy's brother who is like a nerd, but
Brian Posehn's in it. Shit.
Yeah, he plays my favorite character.
Tom Kenny.
He's Tom Kenny. He does the SpongeBob voice in it. Before he did it, it was like right around the same time.
Oh, that's
before
cool.
he did that. And they live in this like kind of like city type area, and it's adjusting the nerdy kid with the cool brother that's a cartoonist, and it's just so real.
Yeah.
And I love it. Watch every episode on YouTube. There's a rumored reboot that could come out, but I adore that show. And my last honorable mention before Vale throws up and punches me in the leg for saying it, Bob's Burgers.
I get everybody liking it,
I
but
never
I'm
got
not
into it myself.
Yeah.
It's my dry sense of humor. That's what it is. When it first came out, I was like, oh, great, another Simpsons Family Guy ripoff. And then I watched one episode after The Simpsons, and I was like, my God, this is better than modern Simpsons. I love this.
I wish they would have gone with the original idea.
The original idea was going to be about them serving people.
They're cannibals.
They're cannibals.
That would have been fun.
They cook up burgers and they serve them to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to think of it, if you think about it though, that probably
wouldn't have gone over well.
Well, it probably would have lasted 2 seasons and then done.
Yeah. So I mean, it works.
The actual show is more appealing to everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
I just like.
Plus, I don't think Fox would take that too well.
HJ, especially now, but H.J. Benjamin does the voice of Bob. He's in Carl and Family Guy.
He does the narration for that new movie.
With
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see it.
And I love him in like everything.
Yeah.
But my top 5 is number 5 is The Real Ghostbusters. Because of how much that show means to me personally.
I gave him shit last weekend when he picked up a Real Ghostbusters DVD. I'm like, don't you already have all the episodes?
And
then he told me it was episodes that weren't on there.
And then I have Rugrats on there. And when we go around our choices, I'll talk more in depth about it. But
randomly, Seth, I just thought about this
while Brandon's in the bathroom.
How the fuck did y'all get that chair in here?
It's a little side note while Vale's taking a piss.
I'm like looking at the chair and looking at the door. I'm like, and all your stuff. I'm like,
Trey and I just lifted it over it. Yeah.
It's not a big doorway.
Yeah,
did you have to move the shelf out of the way?
No, because I didn't want to.
Did you knock anything down?
No, I think I moved some stuff around.
That chair, I'm looking at that chair. I'm like,
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
It's so I can play games and watch stuff comfortably.
It works. This is comfy.
Yeah.
Me and Seth talked about Rugrats when I first came in.
Yeah.
It's just that nostalgic feeling.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Very...
I was never super into it, but like if I had if it was on, I would put it on, or if I wanted to watch it one day and just binge it, I probably could. I just never got into it.
It's engraved in my brain.
Yeah, the music in general. So the guy, it was a guy from Devo that did all the music.
Devo?
Yes.
No shit.
And he's the guy who inspired Chucky.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just get into them as we say our lists at this. We'll just do it that way because there's one left. We're 3 instead of 4 today. So I will read Eric's list off at the end too. He did send me his list. Yeah. So oh shit, I just deleted one. Good thing I know what it is. Rugrats was special to me because it's one of the most. And I told Vale this, like he said before we started. It's one of the most innocent, pure things that I love. I saw the second movie in theaters with my mom.
Everyone, including us, had that orange tape on VHS.
Absolutely. Yes. Reptar means a lot to me as a symbol.
Reptar's cool as fuck.
That was shout out to my boy Godzilla.
And the show is just innocent.
Who would win though?
Godzilla.
But which Godzilla?
Which one do you want me to go to?
Not
the 1954 because he's about worthless.
All right, which Godzilla do you think Reptar could legitimately defeat?
Probably 54.
Yeah.
54 is on the weekend.
They're like the same
Or
thing.
Zilla from 98 Godzilla.
Reptar's been to space.
He's big, but he doesn't have his heat breath. He's more agile, but he's not as strong as regular Godzilla.
That's true.
He's just quick.
And Rugrats will always have a special place in my heart for the innocence that it just takes me back to when I was a kid and it'll always be special to me. Yeah. And it's just
it's funny as hell at some point.
I was telling Vale, my favorite episode is Toy Palace, where they go to like a Toys R Us thing. And Stu, I used to think like, oh great, I'm gonna grow up to be Chaz because I was like Chucky when I was a kid. But like I feel like I've become Stu because I'm just obsessed with like action figures and toys.
Stu and like
Eric just likes when they say diapies.
No, I don't.
One of my favorite jokes reminds me of you. Stu, what are you doing? It's 4 a.m.
Making chocolate. I have that on a pin.
Making chocolate pudding. Why?
Because I've lost control of my life.
That was the episode where Angelica was
breaks her legs. She breaks her legs
and she just milks the hell out of it.
She breaks her leg and.
Stu, what are you doing?
Making chocolate pudding.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Why on earth are you making chocolate pudding?
Because I've lost control of my life.
But Stu in the Toy Palace episode, he picks up a toy. He's like, oh, he said it just like me. He was like, oh, this is a new alligator toy from Italy, and he's like, yeah, it's powered by cold fusion. You just hear Chaz go, I don't know if nuclear fusion is too good for power a toy. He's like, yeah, they've got a couple of claims, but there's no proof to them yet. And I was just like, oh my god.
That's funny. So that's another show where jokes go over your head as a kid.
Yeah, and the movies, I love.
Grandpa with the porno video.
Oh, yes. Sexy Vixens, what is it? Space Vixens?
Space Vixen, yeah. Or something like that. And the relationship with him and his grandfather, I'm glad you brought that up. It always reminded me of my grandfather and I, and like especially in the movie when they are leaving the baby shower and they kick on the sprinklers and it like takes everything down and you just hear he looks at him and he's holding Tommy and he goes, now that's what I call a baby shower. And it's such a stupid joke, but the way that they look at each other,
it's well timed.
Now that's what I call a baby shower.
Not to mention the emotion that comes with that show. When Chucky does the daddy Sundance or whatever.
That's in the second movie. Yeah,
it's an emotional.
Yeah, like
scene.
It hits me pretty hard, especially not having a parent for a different reason growing up. But like, still, it hits hard when you see everybody with their parent and you're just by yourself. Like that hit hard for me as a kid. I mean, I rewatched the second movie not that long ago, and it holds up incredibly well.
Is Lil and Phil's mom gay?
In the new one, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was the shtick.
I think it was always implied
Yeah,
that she was in
and
the original
they were
show.
because it was the opposite because the twins were twins, and instead of the parents were just opposites. Yeah.
Let's talk about the creepypasta.
Oh boy.
There were some creepy moments in that show.
Yeah.
The giant baby.
Yeah. I'm not Tom. I'm not Stu.
I used to hate Angelica. She had her hair ripped out and everything. I was like, why the
yeah. You mean Cynthia.
Cynthia.
Yeah. But
I always, you know what's funny? Every time I looked at Cynthia, I'm like, does Angelica like chew on her?
Yeah.
She just looks like she's been chewed on.
Yeah.
Angelica was like the oldest out of all the kids.
Yeah, she was 3. But yeah, I mean, I love Rugrats, and I always will, and it's one of the best written shows from that era. Mad love for it.
All Grown Up was another one that was good.
I really want to shout it out.
Yeah, and they had they had specials for every holiday, which was cool because the creators were Jewish and Christian, which was pretty cool. They have holiday specials for everything. And then number 3, home movies.
That's one I kind of grew up like just kind of catching here and there when I was up late. Never watched it all the way through, but I always
it's so funny.
I always caught it like here and there.
Doesn't Eric like that?
Yes.
It's a good show.
And I'll talk more about it when we do our Adult Swim list. It's so simple. It's like a Newgrounds cartoon.
Oh yeah. It's the animation is so fucking like
bad. It's funny.
It's bad, but like it reminds you of like a Flash game when fucking Newgrounds. Like you said.
Yeah, and
which Newgrounds is still up, surprisingly.
GameStop.com.
Yo, hit me up with that mini clip. Mini clip was my fucking website.
Let's go to Albino Black Sheep.
Yo, don't get me. We'll go down the 2000s website rabbit hole here.
We did that once in a video.
Albino Black Sheep was fucking great. That's where I discovered, which I still think is one of the funniest Flash cartoons to this day. The Demented cartoon movie.
Yeah.
It's like 30 minutes of just like nonsense, and it's so fucking funny. Dude, that fucking clip.
Yeah.
It's like a picture of Batman from the '60s show, and when I went and watched the '60s show for the first time, it's the first episode where he gets like poisoned by
I know
juice,
what it is.
And I saw his face. I'm like, that's from that thing.
Yeah.
But home movies is just. It's about a kid and his friends that make really shitty movies in his basement.
And it's created by Brendan Small from Death Clock.
And
Apocalypse fame.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And the main character Brendan. It's
Brendan.
His name is Brendan Small.
He's voiced by Brennan.
And the show, yeah.
You'd like that?
Easy.
And H.J. Benjamin plays Coach McGurk, who I think is one of the funniest characters in the history of animation. He's just so dry. Like there's an episode where he's like, "Yeah, I don't lend I don't lend money to kids anymore. But if you see Billy, tell him I'm looking for him." And it's just jokes like that I love that show to death. That's why it was between that and Bob's Burgers. I like home movies more because it just hits harder being a kid that made movies. But again, I'll talk more about that on an Adult Swim list. And before I didn't say,
I will give Bob's Burgers some credit though because the intro.
Yeah,
I do like how the intro. You'll see like
different
Bob's
things,
Burgers, but on the side of each building, it's a different like company or a different store like every episode. Which
the one on the left is always the same.
Yeah. I think it's cool that they do that.
And they have like a different car in front of it. Yeah. Like one time it was Dale's dead bug from King of the Hill.
Yeah.
And then before I move on, the real Ghostbusters. I've said enough about this show. I love it. It's my favorite version of the Ghostbusters. The show actually helped me conquer my fear of the dark with the Boogeyman episode.
Fear of the dark. We went to the same spot.
Yeah,
somehow.
I know. I should have known. But yeah, I mean, it holds up incredibly well.
I should have known.
It holds up incredibly well. But yeah, you can watch it on YouTube. Highly recommend it. It's if you're a Ghostbusters fan. Voice casting is perfect. Fun fact for you:
Dave Coulier from
No.
House is on it.
He ruined that show. He ruined that role.
Like
But
Full House.
Arsenio Hall and Ernie Hudson auditioned for the character of Winston. Ernie Hudson played him in the movie.
Do you have Gex?
Do I have Gex?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Because I just don't. But Ernie Hudson played him in the movie, and he auditioned for the character on the show, and they gave the role to Arsenio Hall and not Ernie Hudson.
Why?
I don't know.
It makes no fucking sense.
It makes no sense. But even Ernie Hudson was like, dude,
coolest thing Arsenio Hall ever did was that segment where he had Jason on it.
Well, and again, being Winston, he did a good job.
$13 right now.
I mean, okay, I'll get Gex and we'll play it. I don't know what you want from me.
Sure.
And number 2, the big one. This was number 2 and number 1 were so tied. South Park.
I'm going down south, I'm gonna have myself a time.
Friendly faces everywhere, humble folks without temptation.
Going down south, I'm gonna leave my woes behind.
I knew that one, yeah.
And South Park.
It's not on mine for that.
It's not on yours?
Yeah, it's not on mine.
Okay.
For that, because I knew you had it. So
South Park has shaped my sense of humor.
Yeah.
The Simpsons walked so I could... I walked with The Simpsons so I could run with South Park. It's like you go Simpsons, Family Guy, South Park. That was like the steps.
Yeah.
Those I would probably say those are like the
pinnacle,
the top 3 of adult animation.
Yeah.
That's the pinnacle of adult. What would you put at number 4 just to call it a big?
I will get to that.
Okay.
What is that? Your next one?
Yeah,
Okay,
but South
enough.
Park has shaped my sense of humor. Trey Parker and Matt Stone have such a big connection to my sense of humor.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's Monty Python but more graphic. That's what they've what they've said have inspired that. It's Monty Python and Beavis and Butthead.
One, they're geniuses.
They're fucking geniuses.
The way they construct these episodes and the way they make the stories.
The fact that this show has been on, and I'm probably the loner out of this group just because I never really got in. Like, I like South Park, but I never really got into it. I mean, my favorite thing is the movie,
right?
Just because I watched it.
I like that behind you. There's the movie poster, and I have the fucking tapestry.
Yeah.
But
for what is it? 26 seasons now.
It's been on since 1997.
Okay.
So 27 seasons.
So the fact that these guys have been able to go for 27 seasons and be able to be as relevant, culturally relevant as they are,
it's because they don't pick a side.
Yeah, and like the fact that
they make fun of everybody.
Everybody
gets
gets
that,
it.
Like their humor and like the fact that they're able to make fun of everything throughout this 27-year run. The fact that they're relevant and for it to still be. I mean, for God's sake, we showed my mom the COVID episode. Yeah. And she loved it.
My mom has.
She does not like cartoons, especially adult animation like The Simpsons. Neither do mine. There was a few times in that COVID episode where she was laughing really hard.
My mom doesn't. My mom, of course, growing up was like, she didn't really care. Yeah. But like, we just couldn't talk that we watched it. Yeah. But of course I did. Because I've been watching this show as long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm. They do so good with just keeping up with the humor
and
the time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's like when they did the streaming wars. Yeah. And you're like sitting there thinking, oh, Netflix, Hulu. Yeah. And it's literally about fucking streams connecting in the one episode.
The fact that they were able to make fun of current events like consistently just shows something.
My mom...
and they got $100 billion for their last $100 million.
I'm gonna get into that in a second. But my mom loved the Honey Boo Boo episode because that's what you're saying, and my mom thought that was hilarious. Yeah. When I was a kid, I was watching it one time. She was in the kitchen, and there was a part where it's in the Lord of the Rings episode, and he's like, "You see, Token, when a man loves a woman, he puts his penis in her vagina." And it's the kid saw a porno, and he doesn't know how to feel about it. My mom's like, "What the fuck are you watching?" Like laughing about it. I'm gonna edit the name out, and I have to remember to actually do it. But I'm in middle school. He was like, "Yeah, I was watching South Park yesterday, and my mom came in, and it was the episode where Mr. Garrison is scissoring with the other chick." He was like, "Of course she walked in on that." And I always thought that was so funny. But yeah, to get in what you said, they got paid to do they got paid to do 10 more seasons and a couple of movies and specials. I believe 10.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing with HBO, the legal dispute, whatever. But they are the hardest working people in animation. Mm-hmm. At least in the West. They work so hard, and I've only missed a deadline in 27 years 2 times. One was because of a power outage.
I'm pretty sure I told the story before, but on my old flip phone, I used to have the South Park movie as my background.
Nice.
And my dad saw it one time. I was like 9 or something like that. He goes, "Why is that your background? What do you know about that?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just thought it, and I saw it, thought it was cool." Because I had to act like I didn't know anything about South Park.
My friend Andrew would always, because we loved the WoW episode is my favorite. That and Good Times with Weapons. But we watched because we still play
like
WoW.
Heroes.
The World of Warcraft one. My friend could always tell his mom, he's like, "Yeah, I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure," and but like, it is just so funny. The superhero episodes are great. It's so engraved in our friendship as well. I used to have audio clips from this on a CD, and I would listen to it from the movie and stuff. And I have a Kenny tattoo. The amount of enjoyment that I have got out of South Park is, and I mean,
the fact that running joke is still funny to this day.
Yeah,
you know,
I did. Mariah hates South Park, but I showed her the episode Cripple Fight where Timmy and Jimmy fight.
Where it's literally the fight from They Live.
Yeah.
Cripple Fight!
And she thought it was really funny.
Attention customers. There's a Cripple Fight out front. And then you should show her the one with the Bloods and the Crips.
The next one I was going to show her was the WWE one.
I like that one.
I've had 8 abortions. I'm addicted to it.
And then because I mean we're practically a wrestling podcast. There's a part, I don't know. Have you seen the WWE episode? We'll have to show it to you. But there's a part where he's like, the wrestling coach is like, they're like, "We want to do wrestling after watch WWE," and they show him. He's like, "Dude, that's just fucking gay."
Yeah. And they're like, "All right, get on all fours, and then you're gonna grapple this guy."
Yeah.
Like, "No, that's fucking gay."
And then
where are the chairs at?
They show him at a bar with adults. He's like, "This is real wrestling." And then
like, "Stop showing your gay."
They're
porn.
like, "Mister, you got 2 seconds to get you and your gay porn up out of here." It is so funny.
Look! This is wrestling! This! Mister, you better take your gay porn and walk right out of this bar.
Yeah.
And whenever they make fun of certain things, you can tell that they put love into it.
Oh, yeah.
And when they like when they made fun of Pokemon, you could tell it's coming from an adult's perspective. And when they made fun of Good Times with Weapons, you could tell that they loved adult anime.
At this point, it is an honor to get made fun of.
Absolutely.
But even, I know y'all, or you're not a big fan. Logan Paul.
I give him, I look.
With Prime,
wrestling,
they did the whole cred thing.
Yes.
And he loved it. He shared it everywhere. He was like, "I can't believe that they made fun of Prime. This is awesome."
Right. But I mean, South Park is just such a institution for me.
First time I got introduced to South Park was the movie and the 5th season, because I picked up the 5th season at a yard sale, and first episode I ever watched was the shit episode, where how many times they could say shit.
I like that, and he's like, "You got some shit on your nose right there."
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that episode too.
And I watched the movie so many times. Obviously.
Yeah, I love the movie.
I've seen the movie more than I've seen the show.
They're doing a rescreening of it this year for the
I want to get the 4K
sing-along
copy when it comes out.
Yeah, I sold my Blu-ray copy yesterday because I want to get that. And ensure that I do. Number 1, being that South Park was number 2, King of the Hill.
I would definitely put that in the big 4 of adult animation.
Yeah. King of the Hill, for me, hits really hard because the dad I had was Red Foreman meets Hank Hill.
Yeah.
And I wasn't as bad as Bobby Hill, but it was when like having that relationship was great.
Which is actually how I got you two to become friends.
Vale's like, this guy does a really good Hank Hill impression.
How Seth and I met.
And I went
at him at the lunch table, and I fucking almost pissed myself
like,
when he did his Hank Hill impression.
God dang it! And you were like,
oh shit! The Acclaimed versus Grizzled Young Vets tonight.
Oh really?
On Collision, yeah.
Nice.
I was like, God dang it! I'll tell you what. And you were like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So, but that alone.
I didn't realize the Grizzled Young Vets showed up.
It's a one-off. They don't know if they got signed yet.
I hope they get signed.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that should be good.
You're
but
good?
No, I'm gonna. Give me a minute.
Okay.
So
stroke?
No.
Oh,
I mean, just give me a minute with the show. Like,
stroke time.
Strong.
So the way that I look at it is like it's 4 lifelong friends that live in the same neighborhood, and they're all just together. And I've just always said, like, everyone's like, oh, I want to find my grown-ups crew, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all, but like, I want my people I can drink a beer in the alley with. Like, that was the way I looked at it, and it's just the camaraderie.
Yep.
The way that they write the characters, it's like South Park in a way where everybody gets made fun of and it doesn't really take a side. Mike Judge, of course. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about him later.
Goddamn genius.
And just the writing is great. The humor is so dry.
Justin.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, and it just hits so many personal levels for me. My favorite episode is The Witches of East Arlen, where it's about Bobby hanging out with all these nerds, and there's a part where he goes to this guy's house, and he's like, how old are you, 30? And he's like, I am 900. And he goes, that's not your fault. A guy can only take so many swirlies before he loses his mind. And he's like, now stay away from my kid. He's like, I hope you figure out whatever it is you're looking for and stay away from my son or I'll kick your ass. And I was just like, dude, holy shit. The relationships are genuine. It feels like a real, thing. Mike Judge just knows how to nail characters because he grew up in that type of area. The way he pitched the show was really cool too. He just had them telling the network why he should get the show. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it hits every personal note for me. It was between that and South Park. I talked enough about South Park, but King of the Hill basically is just sentimental, relatable, perfect, which is everything I look for, and overall, just I can rewatch it. Whenever somebody asks me, what's this, because you can't count The Simpsons, you can't count Family Guy, you can't count South Park, because they're all still going, but also because they all dip in quality. King of the Hill remains consistent.
Yeah.
The entire show was consistent.
13 seasons.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up.
They're rebooting that, aren't they?
Yeah, and I can't wait. I'm genuinely excited.
Now, I can't remember. Is it gonna be completely rebooted, or is it like gonna be like a continuation?
It's a continuation.
Now,
really?
Now I'm wondering. Are they going to do the Family Guy thing where no one ages, or are they actually going to show them aged?
Before I give you your shot to say everything, this is how I will wrap it up. Yeah. This is how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Tom Petty and Brittany Murphy are both dead because they are the voices of Luann.
Right.
And at the end of the show, they have a baby named Gracie.
Yeah.
They're both dead, and they were married. Okay. So you kill both of them off in some like reckless way that they will.
Yeah, because they were reckless anyway.
Right. So then you make the show about Bobby impregnating the neighbor girl, Connie.
Yes.
And the whole first season of the reboot is about him being nervous about being a dad and learning how to raise.
Are you saying that's what it should be?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it'd be about him learning how to raise a kid by helping them with raising Gracie, because it'll be like a 5-8 year time jump, and it'll be about like, because Hank will be raising her the way that he raised Luann,
right?
And it'll show him how to be a dad from what he learned, but also his own experiences, and have it be about that. And I think that would be the ideal way to do it, because you could have those heartwarming moments, and you could also have really good comedy with commentating on modern day things, because the show ended the timeline in 2010.
Okay.
So you make like an 8 year time jump. It would be hilarious to see his perspectives on
modern shit. Yeah.
Trump, COVID, Dale doing a conspiracy theory about COVID would be hilarious.
I would piss myself.
I want to see Hank talk about like air fryers or something.
Yeah, stuff like
why the hell would they
or just talk about Trump?
God,
you know?
get that thing out of here! Like
charcoal,
DoorDash.
propane.
There's always a joke.
I really like that Trump.
Yeah, Mike Judge actually said he was like he would vote for him, but he wouldn't be happy about it because of how chauvinistic Trump is. I was like, that's cool. I like that. And then he was like,
Trump might be a shithead, but I like what he's done.
I'm voting for George W. Because there's an episode where he meets George W. and he doesn't like the way he shakes his hand.
Speaking of George Bush, it's kind of random, but I was passing. You know the four-way book things in the Action Alley at Walmart.
Yes.
So they had a bunch of Judy Blume books, and I saw Super Fudge.
Oh
yeah.
I'm reading Super Fudge.
Super Fudge. That joke in Family Guy. That made me do
so.
Okay.
Go ahead, Brody.
Wait. Is Brody next? Okay.
Brody, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I don't care.
We're gonna go long anyways.
Okay. Yeah. I'll show you long.
But Justin Long.
Yeah,
he's a
and
shithead
Tusk.
in every movie.
Yeah, I know.
And Barbarian. Yeah.
He was great in Barbarian.
Dude, he was such a frickin' Barbarian.
Yeah. All right, so I have 3 honorable mentions. I'm gonna start off with Codename Kids Next Door.
Nice.
I didn't put any. Yeah, for the record, I tried not to put any Cartoon Network shows
That's
on
a
there
2000s classic.
because we did the Cartoon Network video. Yeah.
But it just, like I've said before, number 4, he slept in a wrestling ring. He was aggressive.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. It was just the Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
episode.
Would I be Hoagie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Brody can be our number 1.
Okay, cool. I'm glad. I feel blessed that you didn't say I'm number 1 because I'm bald.
No. Well, no.
I'm not
you
nearly.
You can be Hoagie.
Yeah, I'll be Hoagie. That works.
Great show.
His brother. That's my brother.
Yeah. The next honorable mention, F is for Family. Quoted earlier.
I love that show.
Yeah,
that's you.
Yeah,
I love that. I will put you through that fucking wall.
Mystery! It's not going anywhere!
When I get home tonight, I want to see half of those assignments completed, or as God is my witness, I will put you through that fucking wall!
We're outside, genius! There is no wall!
Then I will build one, and I will fucking put you through it!
It's Bill Burr the show.
Yeah, Bill Burr the show. It's just the aggression and the delivery. I'm not answering the goddamn phone during dinner. I'll rip the phone at the fucking wall.
It's so mean-spirited, but I love it. LS Mark made a really good video on it, and he said it is the worst, best show he has ever seen. He said, and it's the chick who did the voice of Jimmy Neutron. She says so much fucked up shit in that show.
Oh, really?
It's so funny.
Who does she voice?
So many characters. She's the sister. She's the neighbor kids.
Oh, the stupid kid.
Yeah, that's her.
Hi, Billy.
Yeah, no, not that kid, but the other, but like the.
Oh, the 2 little kids that wear the diaper. Or
the
whatever?
kid, they have the joke in the show where he's like, "Yeah, that's where he's at." Like when we saw him at the People Zoo when they were talking about the jail.
It's a funny show.
Good.
If you haven't watched
it's good.
it. And my last honorable mention being Invincible. I mean, it's only 2 seasons in, but I've read all the comics, and from what I understand, they're supposed to adapt all the comics into the show. It's killing right now.
Why isn't Invincible by Adelita's Way the theme song for that show?
It should be.
Mad love for my boy Mark in the comics that when Eve gets a mom bod, he tells her that she's more beautiful than ever.
She gets thick, and he's like, actually, I like the extra weight on
and
it.
I was like, my boy Mark, go for it.
And seriously, I know Brody hasn't yet. One day he's going to. Just
it's
like
really
the
good.
boys.
It's really good. I read the first comic. I didn't care for it, but then when the show came out, like I read the first comic like 20 years ago.
The comics are so bad.
And I want to
read every single one.
Give them another shot. But I love the show. The show was so good.
And it shows a lot of stuff. Like, do you know anything about It's About Broad?
A little bit, yeah. You showed me like 1 or 2 episodes, I think.
Yeah. You showed me that clip of him, as I remember we were in the break room at Walmart when you worked with me, and you were talking about, and Shiesty was in there, and he just read, like, Shiesty was like, oh, dude, that show's so great, and I was like, what? I was like, that doesn't seem like, and he was like, dude, I was like, I know you like anime, he was like, no, and then you showed me that clip of the whole Justice League of there, basically just jobbing, I was like, dude, I gotta see this.
Fucked up in the first episode.
Trey and I watched the whole. And he keeps talking about he's gonna watch the second season, so I'm gonna get around to it.
Omni-Man's a great character. He's in Mortal Kombat now.
Yeah.
It's insane just how these characters are, and like it touches so many other things. Like Anessa is another Viltrumite from outer space, and there's not many of them left. There's only like 50 in the universe.
Kryptonians.
Yeah,
it's the same. Yeah.
Essentially, she comes to Earth, finds Mark, who's half Viltrumite, and he's trying to protect the world. And she's like, "Oh, we have to repopulate Viltrumite." So she slams him down, beats the fuck out of him, and then sexually assaults him.
Oh shit!
And basically like, "Oh, you're gonna give me a kid because we need to continue the race." And he's crying, and he goes to Eve afterwards, and Eve tries to kill this girl.
About that.
It's really intense. They do really good with the violence, the humor, and like the emotional storylines.
Yeah, because you and Damien were talking about that last night. Yeah.
And then into my top 5, my number 5 is kind of a cheat because I've got Young Justice, Justice League Unlimited, and Teen Titans.
Yeah, I'm with you on Justice League Unlimited and Teen Titans, and I love Young Justice, but
Justice is represented in my boy Lobo good. He comes in and fucks them up.
I liked him in Superman the Animated Series.
Just real quick, we talked about DC and stuff before, but just the comic book aesthetic. Teen Titans is a great show.
Oh, it's a classic.
For us growing up.
But it's an American anime adaptation, basically.
It's one of those shows I watched every morning before.
Starfire was my literal first crush ever.
Raven.
I kissed the TV screen when I was like 6 when she came
Raven
on.
For me.
Raven, yeah.
It was just like, I don't know, maybe because she's stupid. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
But Young Justice.
You are pretty fucking dumb.
You're ugly.
I am.
I guess maybe that's why, because Tara on that show, the way that she would just up and leave.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe that explains a lot for me.
Number 4 is, Dragon Ball, Z, GT, and Super.
Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, rock dragon, come get Dragon Ball, rock dragon, come get
Just all of it.
Well, you can kind of throw those shows together, so
yeah. I mean, it's all continuous, one storyline, except GT's not technically canon.
I'm a really big Dragon Ball Z fan as well, but I didn't put anime on here intentionally.
Yeah, it's just
that's a list we'll
had to mention.
That's a list we'll probably never be able to do.
Yeah, no, hell no.
That'd be an episode for you guys.
Yeah, and if we maybe got like Damien was talking about maybe coming on and doing one, and Dan. So I mean, if somehow, some way we make that happen, then maybe.
It's just, like we've talked about with Akira Toriyama when he passed, RIP again.
Yeah.
It's just, I've had such a connection. I stayed up late to watch it on Toonami. I watched Dragon Ball. I got the whole series. Me and Damien watched it when I lived there. Then we watched all of Dragon Ball Z. Then we watched all of GT.
Yeah.
I had fucking watched Dragon Ball Z Kai when it came on Toonami, which is all of Dragon Ball Z, except they cut the filler out, so it's easier.
Yeah. If somebody said, I want to watch, like, Trey was showing Matt Dragon Ball Z Kai and was like, this is how this goes.
You should, yeah.
Yeah.
Because in regular Dragon Ball Z, there's an episode, because they weren't cut up, or they were caught up to the comics, and they literally just made an episode about Goku and Piccolo learning to drive.
Yeah.
And I was like, they can fly.
Why would Goku
a million miles an hour?
I like that episode because of how stupid it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But Piccolo puts on a shirt and some pants and a backwards hat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is happening? He's a green alien from outer space.
Yeah, and then Goku can't drive a car.
Yeah.
Like,
but yeah, so Dragon Ball I've talked about enough before, I'm sure. Number 3 is Godzilla the Animated Series.
Really?
Such a good
cartoon.
I watched it as a kid. I haven't gone back and watched it.
It's a continuation of the '98 Godzilla.
It's so underrated.
Except
it doesn't get talked about.
I remember liking it as a kid.
I
watched it when I was younger.
I have the entire series at home.
Yeah.
It's
Not
so
long.
yeah.
It's very short.
It's so
It
great.
was on. I think it was on Fox Kids.
Yeah. Monster battles and just it was amazing. I can't say enough good things about that show. Everyone knows.
Maybe I'll revisit it.
Yeah,
it's your real Ghostbusters.
That's
a good way to put
take long
it.
to get through.
It's your real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's obviously everyone knows I love Godzilla.
That and Extreme Ghostbusters were actually on at the same time. So and it's like done in that same style. So
and then number 2. Beavis and Butthead. It was going to be brought up.
Come on. What is there to even say? That...
We've said it before. Me and Seth watched Beavis and Butthead do America like 20, 30 times
in one month.
One time. And Lindy was pissed because we ordered
I had gotten money in the mail for my birthday.
We didn't know.
I ordered it so many times.
I got money in the mail for my birthday, and it was like $40, and he was like, "Oh, that's just what you owe me for ordering Beavis and Butthead."
For however many times we watched that, and we watched every Child's Play
and Wayne's
for
World.
a while.
And Wayne's World.
It's hilarious. Me and Seth were Beavis and Butthead for Halloween.
Yep.
We had the blue shirt and the black.
It's so fucking stupid. But
it
God
is.
Damn,
It's written by a man with a fucking degree in nuclear physics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing is,
so stupid.
The other thing is about Beavis and Butthead is like a lot of the characters are based upon people that Mike Judge knew.
Yeah. I mean Brody Stewart, but
fuck you. I don't wear no goddamn winger. You will never catch me wearing a fucking winger.
That's where you draw the line.
Winger is really good. Their self-titled album is a fucking banger.
Eric's like, I love Winger.
But I will never fucking wear a winger. You're a winger. You're a fucking Stewart, if anything.
Not me.
Yes.
No.
Oh, come on.
No, I would not be a
if I'm Metallica and he's AC/DC,
I mean, come on.
I wouldn't be fucking wingered.
Hey, what's up, guys?
No, I'd be the kid that's always sleeping with the Kiss shirt on in the class. Never got a name.
I'll be Todd. That's fine.
Okay, cool. That works. Hey, baby. You ever done it with a gang member?
Do you like the taste of cold beer?
Damn straight. We could quote that for... We could have...
We're drunk.
We should do a whole episode on Beavis and Butthead memories. I saw somebody did that on YouTube. I had no idea who it was.
Oh, we could.
But all 4 of us, when Eric's here,
yeah,
we should just do Beavis and Butthead best moments for us.
Talk about the Rob Zombie clip in New America.
That would be fun. I remember...
The Sun sucks.
So when...
Do the Universe is hilarious. Huh, yeah, that is quite humorous. Like Beavis and Butthead from the other universes.
I remember...
Which, hey, whoever's in charge of physical media with Beavis and Butthead, put out the freaking last couple episodes and the movie.
Yeah.
Why haven't you done
Apparently
that?
they were going to do that, but
It got scrapped.
It got scrapped.
It's fucking stupid.
They should have fucking done it.
I mean, I understand, like, it's all on Paramount Plus, but come on.
Yeah. I'd like to own that all. And then, of course, my number 1, it's not going to be a surprise to anyone. I've talked about it before. It's Ben 10.
Started when an alien device did what it did and stuck itself upon his wrist with secrets that it hid. Now he's got superpowers, he's no ordinary kid, he's Ben 10. So if you see him, you might be...
Really? You're number 1?
I kind of expected that.
It's aliens and superheroes.
Yeah.
Literally, that big, outside of Godzilla and Pokemon, probably the biggest thing
I figured that was gonna be
that
your number
influenced me. It's like, this motherfucker, 10 years old, gets a watch who can turn into any alien in the universe, and then he uses it to become a superhero. It's my calling. I would do anything for an Omnitrix. I used to wear one around. I'm going to get one tattooed around my wrist. I'm getting the watch. I'm going to get the symbol and a whole fake watch tattooed around my wrist. That show is phenomenal. I don't care what anybody says.
No, I enjoyed the first. I liked Alien Force too.
Some great humor, some great stories. I love Grandpa Max being quote-unquote plumber, which was actually a secret government organization battling against aliens. It's such a great show.
I've been looking for some of the toys from that show.
Yeah.
So I could get you some, and I actually wouldn't mind some too.
Like
I loved it. I liked that show a lot too.
A lot of Ghost Freak when he turns against Ben 10, leaves the Omnitrix.
Turns into that fucking demon.
Yeah, it's like if you look at Ghostface in his origin form, you die immediately. It's like
that show was huge when it came out. It's still popular with kids, though.
It's
like
I wore my Omnitrix for months. I'm not even lying.
Dude, I used to have the really shitty one where like it had like you had like the little turn thing that was like you had to like with a little light on it.
Yeah.
I hated that
Nope,
one. And then the plastic one that came out where you could actually twist it.
Yeah,
and
you press the button and it comes up.
Yeah.
And I was able to turn it to I was like 8 and I'm like accelerate, boom, and then I run down my dad's hallway in Riverside, like just real fast back and forth. Or forearms, and I'd pick up the fucking mattress in my room, and I'm like forearms.
I've always wondered this, but I've never asked you because I've never remembered. When Arby's first opened in Riverside, Austin told me that he was like, I don't know why I remember this. He told me that he was at Arby's. He was like, yeah, there was a kid in there with an Omnitrix, and he said, I am Ben 10. And I was like, there is a possibility that could have been you.
That's a good possibility.
He said, I am Ben 10.
We used to go to when that Arby's opened, they used to have 5 of the regular roast beef sandwiches for $5 on Wednesdays. So my dad, me, Grandma and Grandpa, and Tracy would get each a sandwich for $5 and eat it for dinner.
That's yes.
So
that
it's
probably could
very
been.
realistic.
It's very possible.
Ben 10, Alien Force, Alien Swarm, Omniverse.
I never watched Swarm. I remember liking Force.
Yes.
Would you be Kevin? My brother had a figure of Kevin 11 when he was combined with all of them.
Kevin 11's
that was always cool.
Especially when you get into Alien Force and he can control his powers and he's not just all combined. That motherfucker's basically absorbing man from Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
He can touch steel,
Or a
turn
Skrull.
immediately into
He always reminded me of like a Skrull. Yeah.
But yeah,
Super
great
Skrull.
show. I can't talk more good things.
Listen to the
about
Cartoon
Ben 10.
Network one.
Yeah.
Again, that one surprisingly did really good too.
Now it's Brody.
Brody.
Baby.
You must take good care of your toys, because if you don't, we'll find out, Sid. We toys can see everything. Oh damn! I didn't turn around quick enough.
So play nice.
Originally, that whole scene was him alive, and he was like, it wasn't the last couple seconds, and he was like, here's the deal, Sid. And he like has like a negotiation with him.
That would have been cool.
And yeah, some of the deleted scenes in that,
for
they call it the Black Friday reel.
Yeah,
is
The Black Crown by Suicide Silence.
That's a good album.
That's a great album. Fantastic album.
So okay, so my honorable mentions. My first one is Hey Arnold.
Yeah, I knew that was.
I love that show.
That's a show I grew up with. It's a show that's much better now than it was when I was a kid.
Yeah, I enjoyed it more as an adult.
To it. A lot of so many good characters.
Move it, football head.
We had a teacher named Mr. Arnold in high school, and everybody would be like, "Hey Arnold," and I did it one time, and he was like, "Ha! Haven't heard that one before."
But yeah, so many good characters. I mean, Eugene, Harold, Helga, her sister Olga.
I felt like Eugene as a kid. I'm okay.
Okay.
That's why that
Kyle
guy looks like Nate.
We
Stinky?
Yeah. We got really stoned one time, and Justin was like, "Yo, he looks like Kyle." And my sister heard him and was like, "Oh my god!" And he talked, and then right then he was like, "I reckon Arnold," and dude, he fucking pissed herself.
But so many good characters. I mean, you have Grandma and Grandpa.
Dan Castellaneta was his grandpa.
Yep. What's the other one? The fucking train episode used to scare the shit out of me.
You know my favorite, the worst thing for me with that show that makes me so mad.
What?
When Oscar is like, no, it's my book. And he's like arguing with that kid over the fucking book.
Yeah.
He's like, what a piece of shit.
Oh, he's terrible.
I don't like that.
Let's see. The movie's good. I still haven't seen the second movie they did.
I liked it from what I saw.
Let me see. It's basically just a kid who grows up who's growing up in the city.
It teaches good life lessons. It's really funny. It's almost to a degree.
One of the best episodes that teaches a life lesson is the Pigeon Man episode.
Love that one.
Such a good episode.
Stoop Kid's
another good one.
I like the Monkey Man.
That's a good one.
You know that's Jamie Kennedy?
Monkey Man?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's either
funny.
Jamie Kennedy, somebody random like that. I'm almost positive it's Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that one, and I like the one where Arnold learns about violence, like when he's, and then the one where he teaches Torg, the bully. Is that his name?
Yeah. Yeah.
He Torville.
Yeah.
Isn't that his name?
Yeah, something like that.
He teaches him about how to be, through tutoring, and then Jolly Ollie, man, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
That's gonna be another list idea too. Nickelodeon shows because we
Yeah.
haven't done that one yet. So we can expand upon
such a good show.
Well, and that's why Invader Zim wasn't on my list. That's why I didn't talk about Ren and Stimpy. But yeah.
So my next honorable mention is King of the Hill. I mean,
Oh, really?
We talked enough about King of the Hill.
Yep.
It's a great show. My third and final honorable mention is Regular Show. Another show I got into late.
Yeah, I showed it to you. I remember we were watching SmackDown, but we were flipping through the channels, and I was like, "Dude, you need to watch
the
this
Death Bear
show."
episode was the first episode I ever watched.
And we watched the car one.
Hello, Governor.
We watched that in Adventure Time.
Yeah, Regular Show is just a very fun cartoon. Yeah. It's basically, I wouldn't call it Beavis and Butthead for like younger kids, but like, it's kind of its own thing. I mean, the concept of every episode is basically the same. Mordecai and Rigby do something dumme, and this catastrophic thing happens.
Yeah,
but it's still a lot of fun. A lot of good characters.
Jerk your dick or you're fired.
We have to
jerk our dicks.
A lot of good characters, like the Just Set Up the Chairs episode is one of my favorite episodes.
I like the hot dog one, the coffee one.
Yeah,
coffee.
I like the part and Rigby reminds me of you.
I get that a lot.
One of the lines that reminds me of you is when they go to get the chairs and Rigby barely tries to open the door. He's like, "It's locked. Let's do something else." And then and he's like, "Did you try turning the handle? Oh, you're killing me."
Yeah,
dude. Man, come on. Why do you always do that?
Deshaun and I used to say we were Mordecai and Rigby, and Billy was Benson.
Billy was Benson.
Yeah.
Billy is Benson.
Yeah, but no, and Vale's Muscle Man.
Vale, you
was
are Muscle
Starlight.
Man.
Mom.
But I mean, great voice casting. I mean, Mark Hamill plays
your boy Skips. That's you.
I love Skips. What did you guys do?
What did you guys get into?
Yeah.
Eric, high five.
Yes, you and Eric are Muscle Man and High Five Ghost.
But
I'm just here to hang out.
Great voice casting. Great cartoon.
Kurtwood Smith was in it too. He played Pops' dad.
No shit.
Yeah.
Pops is Damien.
Yeah.
A lot of
really good show.
You made Pops cry.
A lot of heartfelt moments too.
Yeah.
Yes.
My God.
Yeah.
My God.
That show gets deep.
Okay.
Duh, you do.
I'm just afraid of what'll happen because part of me is still waiting for Margaret to come back.
Daddy's girl.
What? Still? She's not coming back, dude. She's gone.
Look, I know, all right? I know. It's just, I mean, I don't still have feelings for her, but I do in a way. It's like this thing that's inside of me, and it's always just sort of sitting there, waiting around. And sometimes I'll see something, or I'll smell something, and it makes me think of her, even though I don't want to. I really like CJ. She's amazing. But is it fair for me to go out with her if I still think about Margaret sometimes?
Dude, CJ's way cooler than Margaret.
Yeah.
Yo, you take Margaret to the airport?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
No.
No, he didn't mean it, Pops. He wasn't talking about you.
Or it was the same episode actually, is where I still have balloons. We got it covered, Pops. Oh. And he just floats away.
We could be alone with our thoughts.
Yeah. But yeah, just a great show. Probably one of the few cartoons from that era that is really good.
Yeah. Adults love this.
So
show.
number 5, I have Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Love that show.
Probably one of the reasons I got into horror.
I always credit that Scooby-Doo and the real Ghostbusters.
Yep. If you didn't know like about Courage, I mean, it's basically a dog who lives in the middle of nowhere.
With his husband. With her husband.
And her husband used his bag.
I said with his husband.
And that could be the new remake.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
We interrupt this program to bring you Courage, the Cowardly Dog Show, starring Courage, the Cowardly Dog. Abandoned as a pup, he was found by Muriel, who lives in the middle of nowhere with her husband, Eustace Bay. But creepy stuff happens in nowhere. It's up to Courage to save his new home.
But so basically, this dog who basically sees supernatural occurrences. You know, whether it be the ghost, the chickens from outer space, or the fucking Cat's Motel episode.
Fucking Flan guy.
Flan, lassie, flan.
Flan.
Or the
Return the Slab.
The George Romero guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my shot.
Well, he was. That was supposed to be like a Quentin Tarantino parody.
Yeah, but I used to think he looked like.
He looks like George Romero.
Yeah, I think the way that he. Yeah.
More cheese. More macaroni.
I hate macaroni and cheese.
But another great
Kick him
episode.
in the dish pan.
Another great episode is another great episode is the burger joint episode. What's gonna meet my wife?
Yeah. David Wright used
that
to
episode used to make me hungry.
Yeah.
Still does
I want you to meet my wife. And my favorite's the one with the tower. Where they go, right. Yeah, that guy. And then when get that pile of junk out of the road. Me and Evan used to just watch. I've probably said this. Evan and I used to just watch Courage for hours while we were playing games.
Nope, not getting out of this chair.
Not getting out of my chair.
And,
That's it.
I'm
getting me mallet.
That's literally my grandparents.
I remember years ago. I remember years ago when
your grandfather's a little too positive to be Eustace though, to a degree.
I remember years ago when Bray Wyatt was still doing the Firefly Funhouse thing. There was a moment on an episode of Raw where he pulls out a mallet and like somebody made a meme of Eustace saying, "That's it, I'm getting me mallet." Blah blah blah. What's your offer?
Brothers. Huh? Bludgeon Brothers. They used to carry mallets.
Yep. Bludgeon Brothers is great. But yeah, it's just a great cartoon. Great intro. Like I would probably say that's a good gateway horror thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's literally an episode where they make fun of the Exorcist.
Well, that's like
that episode used to scare me.
Well, that's like I said with the real Ghostbusters. There's so many moments in that show that it's just like Courage, where you're just like, holy shit.
Number 4 is Beavis and Butthead. We already talked about it. You know, great
Perfection.
Cartoon. Perfection. Number 3 is Scooby-Doo. Where Are You?
Of course.
I fall asleep to it. That's what I fall asleep to whenever I go to bed. Is like a Scooby-Doo Where Are You episode. It's such a comfort show.
The music,
the voice cast,
the ambiance,
the ambiance, the fucking stills.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like whenever they show when they show a shot of something, it's just so well done.
Great watercolor.
And I mean, it's very cut and dry, copy and paste.
It's the budget of a ham sandwich. I remember that's what Dad
think
said.
about it. I mean, it was made in the mid to late 60s.
Yeah,
and I still think it holds up.
The fact it's so good, and it was made.
We made a whole
60 years ago.
We made a whole fucking episode about how fantastic it is.
Yeah, I mean,
that's Tracy's favorite.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the best. It's the best out of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Yeah,
I will say that.
And the most iconic, I think.
Oh yeah,
and but
it's still and still relevant to this day. They're
yeah.
still making Scooby-Doo stuff wherever you go.
They're gonna make a rated R third Scooby-Doo live action movie.
That would be fun. They did Scooby-Doo Apocalypse comics.
Yep,
they're pretty cool comics.
Number 2, Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Talked about this in our Cartoon Network episode. Go check that out. Great cartoon. So many
hilarious.
So many quotable
Same thing
lines.
with it's the Cartoon Network SpongeBob.
Yes.
Like, it's the same philosophy.
Yeah.
Which everyone's favorite episode? Mine's the one where Ed got the pebble stuck in his shoe. He eats the fucking slide, and I thought that was so
the one with the birthday party where they think it's like something and it's not.
Yeah.
And the part that gets me every fucking time is where Ed like launches the grappling hook and it just goes.
He takes his tongue out and slides down. You just hear the scream where it's like,
and then fucking you see the fucking wall. And it just
crashes
into the wall.
And one of my favorite. I don't know if I could pick a favorite episode.
It's hard. The boomerang.
When you think Ed, Edd n Eddy, what's the first like image that comes to your mind?
I don't know. Probably the episode where they go into the haunted house.
Yep, that's a good one.
Double
D.
Let me poke your brain.
It's the Phantom of the Earwax. No.
Please pull Eddie loose so we can leave!
Careful, Ed. I bruise like a banana. Tally ho! Harder, Ed. What's that? It's the Phantom of the Earwax.
Phantom? That's it! Let me out! Let me!
That one's good too. The boomerang one's pretty funny.
Yeah.
The one where they have to borrow everything.
Oh yeah.
No claims.
No claims. No pay.
Yeah.
Listen to the clams gurgle in the bucket plank. One of my favorite lines from that, is one of my favorite Double D lines is when Ed is tied up to the fucking like support beam to that
That's
house,
a good one
and fucking
too.
Ed just like Ed breaks out of it, and Double D goes in. He just walks in. He's like, "This has been quite. Is that the support beam to the house?
Yeah.
What's the support beam?
Tallrack at your service. Now look what you did.
I can't bear to look, has Rolf. Is that the support beam to the house?
What's a support beam?
This has been quite a day.
The house just fucking crumbles.
This has been quite a day. And then you're still wearing that thing?
Yeah. But so many quotable lines, so many good moments in that show.
Not to mention, almost every character in that show is great.
Oh my god,
Kevin, Rolf,
there's not
Johnny.
a character.
Johnny.
There's not a character in that show where you're
buzz
like,
off, Johnny.
You shouldn't
Buzz
have
off,
dared.
Johnny.
You shouldn't have dared Kevin to. Or you
Rolf's
didn't have
fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Kevin,
boys.
Kevin wasn't even in this episode.
That's exactly what I said 20 pages ago.
Dorks.
You can't drop that. This isn't a cartoon.
That's another one. That's another
great
one that
line.
I really like. Is the city episode.
Yeah.
That's a good one too. And I watch the specials every year too.
Oh yeah.
The Christmas ones are my favorite.
Yeah, it's such a great. I would say it's definitely the big four for Cartoon Network shows of all time.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely. It was their longest running show until Adventure Time.
Yep. But yeah, number one, I think Seth already knows what it is.
Yeah, finally we get to talk about this because I didn't talk about it.
Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah. Responsible for yours. Yeah, the Justice League and stuff.
But, I mean, what can we say about this cartoon? It's
the most influential superhero-related
I would
TV
probably
animated
say,
show.
If we're including all renditions of Batman,
my
it is
favorite.
the best interpretation of Batman.
I said once that
it's the best interpretation of Batman. It's the best interpretation of the Joker.
Yeah, I have always said that. R.I.P. Kevin Conroy.
Yes,
like an absolute
I was
icon.
devastated. Seth sent me that link, and I thought it was a hoax.
So did
I was devastated.
Yeah, same thing with Stan Lee when we talked about that.
Yeah, that too. And the thing with Kevin Conroy was it was either right before or right after Jason David Frank died, the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
So it was just like, man,
It was like a
two of
1-2
my
punch.
the big heroes, man.
But so well written, so well animated.
The voice acting.
Oh my
was
god, the voice
perfect.
acting
The
for
music is
everybody. The music is incredible.
Shirley Walker's music.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to her.
Which, all my respect in the world to Danny Elfman.
The music in the animated series.
The music always gets credited to Danny Elfman. It's credited under Danny Elfman on Spotify, and I don't know why. It's Shirley Walker. It's not Danny Elfman.
Shirley Walker.
As much as I love Danny Elfman and his music, it should be credited to Shirley Walker.
Yeah, and the thing with Batman the Animated Series too is that without it, you don't get the Superman show.
No.
You don't even get gargoyles because of the influence that had.
The animation is like
top tier.
It's what every animated show should be. Whether it's a superhero cartoon or whatever.
But did it have Lobo in it?
He was in this technically, yeah, because the Bruce Timm universe is Justice League and the Superman show and Justice League.
Yeah.
So he's in that. But yeah, I mean, it's been established before.
It's,
if you know me.
It was influenced by the 1940s Superman Fleischer cartoons.
That's why it has the Art Deco design to it.
Yeah, because if you look back at that Superman cartoon, you can definitely see
they animated it on black paper.
Yes,
they drew everything on black paper.
The '89 Batman movie and Batman Returns. Those are like the three.
Well,
the three influences.
Every
for that
movie
show.
got a cartoon if it was successful. And that was, I think, a response to that success.
But like the episodes, I mean, it's such good storytelling. So many good villains. Not even just the Joker. There's so many good renditions of villains.
So many adult, like heavy episodes.
There's literally an episode. There's an episode where Batman is trying to convince a drug lord to stop selling drugs because he takes him to a fucking drug clinic, and finds out his son is in it because of drugs.
Well, then the one about
that's a heavy episode.
One of my favorite ones is the one where it shows the dad that kidnaps the kid with the invisibility cloak.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
He grabs the kid and he's like, "You're coming with me, whether you like it or not." And then Batman goes, "Not in this lifetime, pal."
Yeah.
And that, and then the one with Baby Doll.
Oh my god.
Where that end shot.
Yeah.
Where she's standing in that mirror.
Yeah.
And she's just crying.
Yeah.
And Batman, she's pulling the trigger.
Yep.
And Batman just picks it up. And she's like, "I didn't mean to hurt anybody."
Yeah.
Mad Love, where it talks about the abusive relationship between the Joker and Harley Quinn,
which everyone romanticizes.
And
There's no
that
other.
has always pissed
I
us
feel like
off.
there's no other rendition of Batman where it shows the abusive relationship between Harley Quinn and the Joker so well.
No, because people profit off
and
of
the
it.
animated series.
Unless you talk about the Harley Quinn series.
Yeah, that too.
Oh,
yeah.
The animated series is where Harley Quinn became
Originated.
popular.
Yeah.
Arlene, she was not in the comics up to that point.
And R.I.P. again, Arlene Sorkin, my favorite Harley Quinn voice. Kaylee Cuoco does a really good job.
She really does.
Yeah, I don't really like Tara Strong's Harley Quinn too much. It's too over the top for me.
Yeah.
Which I get is the character.
But I mean,
they need to do a Professor Pig.
But I mean,
Batman.
That would be cool.
But I mean,
Harvey Bullock,
such a good character.
Hey, baby doll. Hey, sugar.
You want to read me
Wanna
my rights?
read me my rights? You have the right to remain silent. Ah! That's a good episode too.
Yeah. That's Joker's favorite.
Joker's favorite.
I was just about to mention that. One of my favorite lines, and it just shows how good of a voice actor Mark Hamill is with the Joker. There's your 2 cents. Now, what are you going to do to me?
Yeah.
And then, like, for some reason, there's another part where I think his name's Charlie.
It's Charlie. Yeah.
He's Joker wants him to do something for him. He wants to do him a favor. Hence the reason why the episode's called Joker's Favor. And Charlie's like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And like, the next line is so funny because he freaks out. He's like, "I don't know. I haven't thought of it yet."
That, and then in that episode where he has the bomb, it's in the same episode. He's like, "Batman!"
Dude, Batman's laugh when the bomb goes off. It's so good. Another good episode. The Mayor's Son.
That's a good
That's
one.
another where
that's an early
where
episode.
Joker like pretends to be a
a good guy. And I mean, like I said, Mad Love's my favorite episode.
It ain't no Batman
Christmas
Beyond.
Christmas with the Joker.
Again,
Batman Beyond is a close second.
Yeah,
because I mean, I always say the big four of DC animation, and all the shows are connected.
Yeah.
Is Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, Superman the Animated Series, and Justice League.
Superman the Animated Series is criminally underrated.
Oh my God,
because of Batman, which is good. I love that's how when I read comics.
Talking about this makes me want to fucking binge all those shows
Yeah.
again.
The super.
You won't.
All right. You know what? After I'm done watching what I've been watching.
What are you watching?
It's something on YouTube. I can't remember.
Okay.
But after I'm done, and I have to get my movie collection in order. My movie collection in my room's a fucking mess right now.
I started that.
So once I get all that in collection, or in order, I'm saying right now on this podcast, I'm gonna start binging Batman the Animated Series. I'm gonna start with that, then move to Batman Beyond, then Superman, then Justice League.
You know what?
I'm saying it right now. I'm gonna do it right now.
I'll do it too.
I'll do it
Okay.
too.
All right, bet.
We should all do it. Yeah.
All right.
You're gonna sit through Batman the Animated Series.
Why wouldn't I?
And I don't. And
You're
I,
not a
and,
Batman guy. That's why.
I'm not a Batman guy. It doesn't mean it's not good.
And
I'm not a Batman or Superman
I think
guy.
what
but
might
Man
be
of Steel's
what
great.
might be interesting is every week we could like just mention
Yeah,
where we are
so-
in the shows.
right, yeah. So
that'd be
on-
kind of fun.
Channel Awesome does Batman.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean we could do that.
But yeah, I mean, it's my favorite rendition of Batman. It's the best Batman anything.
Yeah,
I would say
I said once, and I don't know if I would stand by. I want to think about it, but I said it's my favorite adapted piece of comic books.
Oh yeah,
like my
Yeah.
favorite.
Really?
Yes, I said that once, and I
because
would
it's
be
it's
damn
just,
hard
it's
to
so
find
well
something
animated.
Yeah.
And like I said, the storytelling is amazing. The voice acting, not just from the main characters, but just in general.
Yeah.
I would probably say one of my top episodes is the 2-part Two-Face episode. Heart of Ice is another good one.
Though both of those
Are you talking about the best comic book adaptation, animated or live action?
in general?
In general,
That's probably my favorite.
because I'd probably put it between, I guess, Daredevil, Netflix, and Young Justice. Because the way Young Justice is animated,
No, I
Plus,
agree, but it's
I
just
feel
my
you.
favorite.
But yeah, I think
I wouldn't be into comic books if it wasn't for that show.
I think I should really sit down
that's
and
fake,
sit.
No, that show, X-Men, and the first Spider-Man
well,
movie.
yeah, I know, but you would still be into comics.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
You're a Batman and a Spider-Man guy.
Yeah.
You would have still had Spider-Man.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But Batman gave me
Even
confidence.
though Miguel O'Hara is the best Spider-Man.
Batman gave me confidence.
Spider-Man 2099,
But it's-
getting the tattoo tomorrow.
Because of that show. I was capable of doing
Yeah,
that.
I think I should really go through these shows because number one, they're all great.
Yeah.
Number two, they're all connected somehow. And number three, I own all of them on DVD.
Yeah.
The whole series of each one on DVD or Blu-ray.
That's brilliant.
And I think the only movies, like when I go to binge Batman the Animated Series,
Mask of Phantasm.
I'm not going to include every single rendition that Kevin Conroy has done because that would just take way too fucking long, much as I love him. I think I'm really probably only going to watch like Mask of the Phantasm and the Sub-Zero movie.
You should watch Return of the Joker.
Well, Return of the Joker is part of that Batman Beyond.
That's
set
the
anyway.
one that. That's the one that. I always said. I think Batman Beyond the movie. I'm like, no.
That's probably the second best, and that's probably one of the better animated Batman movies. But the best animated Batman episode or Batman movie is Mask of the Phantasm.
I agree.
First of all, DC kills it in animation in general.
They always have.
Yeah.
DC murders it.
Oh my
in
god!
animation.
But think about it.
Marvel kills it live action.
I
but
mean, 90% of the Batman movies that they've come out with have been good.
Yeah.
Whether they've either been great, good, or meh. And even the meh movies are good.
Going back to the 70s, I mean, yeah, the Marvel had the 60s, but like the Super Friends in the 70s regards a lot of people really loved Super Friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
I like it. But
the Super Friends show. I mean, I have those cartoons on DVD. They're extremely dated,
But
and
they're fun.
and they can be really corny at sometimes.
But they're fun.
But you got to think about it at the time. That's how comics work.
That's how
the comics work.
That's
back
how
then.
a lot of people got introduced to comic books.
And
too.
that's like people people talk about and complain how corny the Batman series was. The
It's what it was
60s one.
supposed to be.
That's how the comics were at the time.
Yeah,
Comics were campy as
That's
fuck.
such a big Batman the Brave and the Bold is really good too.
Yeah,
I think we need to do a quick mention with the 1994 Spider-Man series too.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Because we watched the Venom saga.
We did. That was good.
Quite a few times.
Yeah.
I had that DVD.
The 90s.
I think we all did.
The 90s Spider-Man show is, I mean...
That and Ultimate Spider...
Spectacular Spider-Man is really
Spectacular
good.
Spider-Man is good.
Yeah, I mean...
That just got taken off by Disney Plus, didn't it?
Did it? Yeah,
Didn't it get taken off Disney Plus like recently?
I think so, yeah. But the guy from Aerosmith... Aerosmith did music for the Spider-Man show.
Joe Perry?
He did.
I did know that.
Yeah.
Well, Aerosmith did a cover of the Spider-Man theme for the first movie.
Yep, and so did the Ramones.
But yes, I'm saying it right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch
We're all on it.
I'm gonna watch Batman the animated series, move on to Batman Beyond, and then Superman, and then close it out with the Justice League cartoon.
And what about Unlimited?
Well, that's part of the that's actually Justice League Unlimited is in that Justice League box set they released.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I'll have to pick that up
because it's technically part of the. Well, it's like the Batman animated series set.
Yeah.
The new Batman Adventures is in that.
Well, yeah.
That's where it transitions.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
Because the Justice League Unlimited is like the transition on how the new Batman Adventures is the transition.
The thing I liked about Unlimited is because I think Vale can confirm it too. I like really fucking dumb DC characters.
Mm-hmm.
I always have.
Yeah.
I like Booster Gold.
Gold, Plastic Man, Hellcat.
Remember when you said Plastic Man could beat Storm?
I still stand by
and
that.
Condiment King though.
I still stand by that.
In AYP,
yeah,
we came up with Plastic Man's not beating Storm.
I don't know, man. It's rubber.
We should do that as a podcast at some point too. The 5 Marvel versus 5 DC. We should shuffle cards, you and me back and forth,
and
like a heads or tails, and then pick who gets Marvel DC.
You know what we should do? You should have Brody and Trey. We should have Brody and Trey fill out a death battle thing, and then have us debate it, and have Trey and Brody moderate it.
Yeah,
be the referees.
You know. Well, you know what Batman villain or what DC villain is the greatest villain of all time?
The Riddler.
No.
Toyman.
Eggman. Vincent Price, baby.
That's Calendar Man, yeah.
Vincent Price, man. Vincent
Calendar
Price
Man is cool in
Vincent
Arkham
Price
games.
playing Eggman in the 1960s Batman show, and
Yeah.
he's just making egg puns over and over.
The best thing about Calendar Man is in James Gunn, The Suicide Squad. What, are you gonna throw fucking polka dots at him when he's talking to Polka Dot Man?
Yeah, I love that movie.
What the fuck does Calendar Man do?
He
what's his thing?
He just knows
the date.
He's obsessed with dates, and
it's the stupidest thing.
That's so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
But it works.
It's like he'll kill someone on the
like
date of like an assassination or something like that.
It's like a serial killer element.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
And it's in like the Arkham games, you go up to him and he'll talk to you about the day that, like, whatever the date is.
Okay.
Yeah, like he'll talk to you about.
That's another reason why Kevin Conroy is one of the best Batman.
Yeah.
Or Batman renditions. I mean, he made those games great.
Yeah.
Which
I agree with
I'm
you.
debating
those
getting it for the Switch because they have the whole trilogy.
I have it on the Xbox.
Those games really are good.
They're perfect.
I played the first one.
I need a Daredevil game in the style of an Arkham Asylum.
I was talking to my cousin about that because he put on my wall. This guy said a Ninja Turtle style game. I said
Ninja Turtles or Daredevil.
You could do anything like
with
that.
Insomniac.
You could do Daredevil. You could do Superman. You could do Iron Man. I remember Superman and Iron Man were rumored.
Superman Returns was such a good game, and everyone hated it.
Well, everyone hated the movie too.
I mean, I guess it wasn't a great game, but I had so much fun playing it.
Yeah, I had fun playing that with you.
You could fly into like Mach 5. Yo, we played that one time. We had a 2-hour delay for school.
Yep, and we played it. Played that in Ninja Turtles 3 on the NES Manhattan Project.
Okay,
let's
we got
picks.
So I watched the latest Mortal Kombat movie yesterday. Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match. It was pretty good. I wouldn't say it wasn't as violent as like the last ones, but it was it's still pretty good. New Motley Crue song, Dogs of War. It's fine.
Very okay.
It's Motley Crue. It's like it's like your dad said. If like Slayer put out something, it's like it's Slayer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
It's fine.
It's on the.
I think John 5 should have been more prevalent in that in that.
I just can't stand Vince Neil anymore.
I gotta read Eric's list off as we.
Oh yeah, read through
up.
that real quick.
No, you guys can do your picks. I gotta pull it up.
What else? I actually decided to run through every Five Finger Death Punch album.
Oh, God.
It's honestly, as much hate as that band gets, their music is very generic. The lyrics are generic as hell.
Make you feel like you.
But their music, their music is fun.
Their first 4 albums are fucking great.
I will say, Way of the Fist is definitely their heaviest album.
Way of the Fist, and then War is the Answer.
Which I was listening to it yesterday. I can't remember what song, but Ivan Moody says the other bad F word in it.
Oh,
really?
Yes. I heard it. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. And I looked at the lyrics. I'm like, oh shit.
It's pretty funny.
But War is the Answer is
all their lyrics
such
are
a good album.
Dying Breed, all the way.
I will say some of their softer songs lyrically are really good.
Remember Everything.
Their 2 best songs lyrically, I think, are Remember Everything and Coming Down.
Yeah.
I like Coming Down.
Yeah, you love Coming Down.
We're not going to talk about
our tag team theme.
Yeah, Mama said knock you out.
They're guilty pleasure.
And honestly, their latest album, Afterlife, is pretty good. Welcome to the Circus. That opening riff.
Is it? I haven't heard it.
Because I'll show it to you after we're done. But it starts off soft, but then it just kicks in.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to see them again. And honestly, Under and Over It.
Yeah.
I like that song too.
That's such a fun song.
Alright, fuck, I'm gonna listen to them again.
Yeah, just give them another shot.
You know what you're getting into. It's like watching a fucking Eli Roth movie. Yeah. You're listening to Five Finger Death Punch. You're gonna hear.
Or even to a lesser extent, like a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I want to give the Transformers movies another shot, because Watch Mojo made a list on top 10 reasons why they're better than you remember.
Let me just see the Megan Fox on the bicycle.
But honestly, that first movie I think that first movie.
Here you go.
That first.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Well, yes, I will say the '86 Transformers movie.
That's all you fucking need. Fuck that new one, by the way.
But
I don't
what was the one we last saw in theaters? It was good.
Bumblebee was good.
Yeah.
But Beast Wars.
I thought Rise of the Beast was fine.
That was fine. Yeah, fuck. Why are they doing that shitty animated one? Do the fucking G.I. Joe Transformers movie already.
Yeah, teased.
But I will say that first Transformers movie from 2007 is just nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
Because I remember when it came out. I remember being excited about it. Come on, Linkin Park is in it.
It's it's okay.
And this is a conspiracy theory, which I think is fucking true.
What?
Trent is the same character as in the 2009 Friday the 13th remake. Everyone says it's the same guy.
Holy shit!
Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. The guy who played that guy Trent, who was Megan Fox's boyfriend in that movie. It's the same actor who played Trent in the 2009 Friday the 13th remake. It's the same. He's got the same attitude, same personality.
Michael Bay produced.
Yes, he did. Yeah. His company produced it.
So I don't know. I'm biased because everybody knows.
I will say the '86 Transformers movie and the show is far better than the Michael Bay movies.
Yeah.
But those movies, I think, I enjoy them because of how dumb they are.
Yeah.
I just
they fuck me up with the Dinobots.
Yeah, I have such a personal thing with my.
I get why people don't like them. I think it's mainly.
Ask me and Devin why we don't like them.
Don't get Devin started.
Yeah, him and I could.
He'll go on a whole fucking 30-minute rant.
No, and him and I have both talked about it.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and him and I have both talked about it.
Yeah.
And,
but I think another reason why I have a soft spot for those movies is because number one, I grew up with them. Number two, I didn't really grow up with the OG Transformers. I didn't get into that till later.
I did.
I grew up with Armada.
I liked Armada, but
I grew up with.
I grew up with hand-me-downs of the toys and watching older episodes on tape.
That is by far the best Transformers movie ever.
Yeah, 100%.
I will say that.
Yeah, I'm a big Decepticon guy, so I don't. The first two were okay. The third one fucking sucked.
Yeah.
The fourth one was worse. The fucking what was the fifth one?
Last Night.
The Last Night fucking sucked. And Bumblebee was good.
Bumblebee was great.
Rise of the Beast was okay.
There's a door in my way.
Yeah.
Which I will say that was another theater experience where we almost missed that opening.
Dude, and that opening
Dude,
alone,
we would have been so pissed if we missed that Cybertron.
Hearing Soundwave, oh my god, dude. And Optimus Prime, that's why I'm so mad about this animated one. Because it's like...
It's like CG, isn't it?
It's fucking ass. I hate the way they look, dude.
Fuck that shit.
You got any picks?
There's a new Game Chasers episode I haven't watched yet this week. For that, I'm watching that. I watched LS Mark made a really good video on Danny Phantom.
Nice.
He's a fan. I enjoyed that. Outside of watching wrestling and stuff for the podcast, I don't have too much. Trying to think of listening stuff.
Go ahead and read Eric's list real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna read Eric's list. I've been thinking about doing what you do with the live wire list, Loudwire.
Yeah.
Going through like their punk albums and stuff like that.
I like going through their list. The next list they did was 75 best rock songs of the 90s, which I'm gonna make a playlist for that here soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna see that.
Actually, did you see the No Values show in California?
No. Oh my god.
Yeah. Did you see it?
Was it like
Misfits, Social Distortion, Iggy Pop, Turnstile, Bad Religion, Sublime, Dillinger Escape Plan, Power Trip, Joyce Manor, Suicidal Tendencies, Black Flag.
Oh my
Looks like Seth's flying out to California.
Yeah. It's just nuts.
Be amongst my own people.
Read his list, yeah.
Okay, so Eric's list is number 5 is Two Stupid Dogs.
That's a good one.
Wow.
4 he said SpongeBob. 3 Ed, Edd n Eddy. 2 is Cat Dog, and number 1 is Danny Phantom.
Yeah.
Two Stupid Dogs is great.
Yeah, there's a really funny joke in that where they're like, "Go ahead, dog, shake," and then the dog just starts shaking and moving. It's pretty funny. So yeah, I mean, no music picks really.
Yeah, I got 3. 2 of them are music. The first one being Deicide's new album.
Is that out?
Yeah.
Well, I gotta listen to that.
Banished by Sin, of course, phenomenal.
People are giving them shit because of the AI artwork.
Phenomenal original death metal. Deicide and Cannibal Corpse are my 2 go-tos for death metal. It's insane. I've loved Deicide for years now. My second one, it's a single. It's Fall Brawl and Paleface Swiss, You Can't Kill Me. Of course, I love Zelly. I love hearing his vocals. It's actually a lot more death metal-ish, and then Zelly breaks in.
Not like beat down heart.
Yeah, right.
Stuff.
It's a lot more death metal-ish, and then like the last 45 seconds, Zelly comes in and does this fast ass.
What's the song called?
You Can't Kill Me. I listen to that. That's fun. And then Eden Lake is my movie. I've seen it before, but I rewatched it. It's a husband and a wife go on a camping trip, and they end up getting tortured by these 13 to 16-year-old kids. There's like 6 or 7 of them. But essentially they live in the middle of nowhere, and they think it's alright to do anything. So they torture this family, or they torture these 2 people. They kill the guy. They do all sorts of messed up shit. And the movie has a real messed up ending. I'm not going to ruin anything, but Eden Lake, it's a fun watch, especially if you love the darker type of movies. It's definitely got a fucked up undertone underneath of it. Yeah.
That's great. All right. Well, thank you for listening to this long one.
We're not going to be here next week because Brandon and I are going to M3 Rock Festival. It's going to be like an all-day thing, Saturday and Sunday.
That's fine. I'm going to be late.
2 weeks from now, we'll figure out what we're going to do.
I'm going to be late with this past upload because Friday's normally when I uploaded them, and I've been pretty good with it. But
if you guys are still listening, we all love you because
we love you guys so much.
Because I know this has been
went long.
This is a pretty long episode, but I think it's only because it's the 3 of us.
This is one of my favorite things to do the entire week. Just sitting here with some of my best friends and just talking about some of our favorite shit.
Absolutely. So
we love you guys. Thanks for listening, Dad and Tracy.
Yeah, and Shy.
And Mom, you ask me every single week, almost every single week, what's Seth's YouTube page called? Sega Seth. And so I want to listen to it. And I look at her, I'm like, you're not going to listen to it.
Love you, Mom.
Love you. All right, everybody.
Have a
Take
good night,
care.
y'all.
Bye.